Hey everybody, today's another live coding session, and I'm trying to give myself a relatively simple task. I hear the train in the background. You probably can't hear it, but I live about 2 blocks from the train tracks, and it's really noisy sometimes, but I like watching the trains. So I have these unread counts here that are styled in a certain way, but if you go onto the Zulip app, you can see that the starred messages and the drafts are styled differently from the mentions and the all messages because the all messages count actually represents the fact that I have unread messages. And likewise, the mentions count represents the fact that I have unread messages, whereas starred messages and drafts are just kind of in a different category. And I think there could be some healthy debate on whether it's really important to style those differently. But I think I know the rationale behind the current decisions, and I think I pretty much agree with them. So I'm just going to try to emulate them. And that requires me to basically reverse engineer what this particular color here is. And I'm not particularly good at figuring this kind of stuff out, but I do know enough to inspect the unread count and go down here and let me twiddle things a little bit here. Why is it not giving me the oh, there it is. Um so I'm trying to find the color here. Yeah, background color. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. And when I go to my widget and I inspect the unread count here, I can see that I have this style panel unread counter class. So I'm going to just make everything be this color first, and then I'm going to go back and make it more refined. And this is a pretty typical development style for me. So I'm going to open up my CSS. And I'm going to say background. So the background's that color. I need to fire up my web server. This is also running the TypeScript compiler, but because I haven't changed any TypeScript, that happens instantly. So set on reds. Okay, good. So now they're all the same color as on Zulip. And of course, I'm noticing here that I need to change the foreground color. So I need to change the foreground color. So I'm just going to go right back into the inspector. And looks like it's essentially white. Not essentially, that's white. And I actually don't need to recompile here, so I'm not going to bother. Okay, so now I'm able to emulate the color for the top two things. But what I'm not doing is distinguishing the two different styles for starred messages and drafts. Um, and this might be slightly challenging. I don't know what to call this. I don't want to call it dark because that's going to be confusing when I go into light mode. I'm just going to call it unread. By the way, I haven't gotten uh, dark mode working yet. That's on my list. Um, so now when I run this, that style is clearly not recognized. Uh, I never know when to build things top down or bottom up, but here I guess I'm building them sort of bottom up. So, oh, like classic, unread. I also don't know when to use interface and when to just use types. I feel like interface is sort of unnecessary, but that's what I've been using so far. Because this class is so small, I'm just going to call it args. So I have args, classic unread should be a boolean. I think that makes sense. Um, yeah, let's let the compiler do the work. I expect like about 4 compiler errors here. Okay, good. They're all exactly. I said 4, but I meant 5. Classic. Actually, this one classic unread is declared, but its value is never read. I guess I'll fix that first. I'm gonna call this classic. Which means I have to go back here. And again, I say this over and over in these videos. I'm not totally obsessed about names because no matter how careful you are in choosing the names, like eventually somebody's gonna come up with a better name, and then you just fix it. It's as simple as that. Okay, so there's that. Let me go ahead and run the compiler again. Transpiler. No, that's not good. Line 12. That's probably at least part of the problem. Okay, that's what I want. So, one nice thing about the TypeScript compiler is that even if it complains about certain things, it'll often continue to transpile your code. So I'm pretty sure that I can just fix all messages right now and get some sort of feedback that I'm headed in the right direction. So build unread count. I'm gonna say classic true. I'm gonna rerun the compiler. Uh, well, the compiler does fail, but let me see if I run the web server now. What happens? I think I just need to fix everything. I'm just gonna fix everything. Um, saying that argument of type classic boolean is not assignable to parameter of type args. Object literal may only specify known property and classic does not exist in type args. Doesn't make any sense to me. Let me just go to one window here. Yeah, I'm not understanding that right away. Oh, very simple reason. All right, let's try this again. And I actually, whoops. And actually, I'm gonna just try to run the web server again. I think it will actually have transpiled this. Reload. Um, oh no, it's not. It's not recompiling it for some reason, or at least this logic's not right. I'm just gonna fix everything. So I'm running the TypeScript compiler again. Classic unread does not exist. So I think the shorter name is better here, but again, I emphasize that like you don't need to totally obsess about names. As long as the name is like somewhat memorable and specific, somebody's eventually going to come up with a better name for it, and then you'd rename it. You saw what I did there. Okay. By the way, notice this. That's something I need to fix. How it's not aligned to the other things when there are no unread counts. So I have to fix this later. That should be a really simple fix. Just align it to the right or something. Okay. Oh, so you see what happened here? I got the shading right, but I didn't get the. I'm not sure this is the best way to structure this, but I'm just trying to get stuff working for now. I probably don't even really need to recompile the TypeScript because I just changed CSS, but that's good. I'm just gonna run prettier. And here's my diff. And I commit and push. And that is it for today. Thank you for listening. Bye.